it is important to practice the observation, acceptance, gratitude triad. This is the main focus of practicing meditation during Brahma Muhurat. Always better to practice meditation with a erect spine, because when the spine is erect, then your tubes, the Ida, Pingla, Shushumna, are vertical, and the vertical alignment is conducive to the rising of the pranic forces or the ojas through the central tube Shushumna. So the beauty is that after a good night's sleep, after visiting dreamless sleep, after making sure that you slept in a purified mind state, sans excess food, sans sex before sleeping, you have entered Brahman through a pure mind. And in that pure mind, you have left your mind to sleep and your body to heal. Because as you know, the more N3 deep sleep you have, the better your immunity is, the better your disease fighting capability. So the Tridosh, Vata, Pitta and Kapha, all three are going to be decreased, because in the state of sleep, you're not only keeping your mind purified and regeneration of the neurons and improvement of the immunity, but also you have the element of fasting. And fasting itself increases your memory through increase in BDNF, brain-derived neurotropic factor, as well as the apoptosis or the programmed cell death, especially if there is prolonged fasting. So this is what I called the optimized sleeping schedule, in which before the sleep you take a small amount of food and you did not have any activities engaging in sex, because sex will cause excitation, and the excitation dopaminergic molecule is a killer of the control serotonin molecule. So once you have done the right practice, kept a cool environment, a dark environment, and a bed that is comfortable to you. It can be a soft bed, it can be a hard table like the one I used to sleep, but whatever you have become accustomed to. And then hopefully you have a good night's sleep, dreamless sleep. And then when you wake up in Brahma Muhurat, then you start your practice of the OAG, observation, acceptance, gratitude. So when you are sitting in a firm, upright position, in your lotus position, in your one of the dhyanasanas that I have talked about, it could be Padmasana, Ardha Padmasana, Vajrasana, whatever is conducive to you, then you close your eyes, and in the pitch darkness of Brahma Muhurat, you are letting your mind wander and mostly trying to analyze how your past day, past week, past month has gone in terms of your professional pursuits, interpersonal relationships, as well as your long-term goals in life. So that is the part of observation. You try to troubleshoot the areas of deficits, areas of your character. It could be anger, rage, cravings, excessive preoccupation with certain vishayas. You have to target your weakness molecule. And once you have targeted and cornered your weakness, you accept it. So you see, first I tried to run the scanner in the frame of reference, which is observation. Try to see yourself as a neutral third person, and then see what this person, the I in you, is doing. And is it the right conduct in whatever realm you are looking, professional, personal? You have to then see what are the defects there. Because the first step in improvement is acceptance. You have to accept that there is a problem. Without accepting the existence of the problem, there is no way to troubleshoot the problem. So you have realized that, okay, I have these deficits in me. I talk a lot. I overeat. I indulge in sex at times when I don't need it. I do have some vices. I smoke. I drink. I have been rude to my family members. I have been impolite to my parents. I have not been patient with my children. I have not been loving, caring, or giving attention to my spouse. Once you have recognized your target molecule, you start accepting that, yes, I have this deficit. I have this weakness. I have been unwise in this frame of reference. Once you have accepted, now you have a problem statement to work with. Write it down. Write it down in your journal that on this day I meditated and these were the problems I came up with. Because you have to reinforce the acceptance by writing. If you just reinforce the acceptance by thinking about it and you forgot to meditate the next day, it has evaporated. That is the rule of the guna. You have to have persistent, constant, recurrent influencing associations. That is the only way the influencing association guna will get imprinted as vritti, will get imprinted later in the subconscious as the samskara. So this imprinting of the acceptance requires writing, requires contemplating, and at some times, if you have a close friend, requires discussing with them. Because you are not going to be judged by that close friend or family member. So if you need that, you can always go to a third person once you have created acceptance. Because now you have to create a loop where you are going to talk about that problem statement, that deficit, that area that needs to be troubleshot. So observation, scanning the whole spectrum of your mind, thought processes, got you a problem statement. You accepted the problem and now you reinforce the acceptance of the problem by writing it down, journaling it, talking to yourself, talking to a friend. Then comes the third step, which could be of humility and gratitude. So now you have accepted, and that can make you a little bit sad. It can make you a little bit depressed. You're not very excited when you realize that you have a deficit in you. So you try to create an environment of positivity by now thinking about another idea that life has been good to you towards. It could be your professional accomplishments. It could be the way you look. It could be something as shallow as your appearance, your material possessions, and then comparing it with someone who does not have them. Because comparison, if it is done in the negative realm, kills all the joys of life. But comparison, when it done with a person that is less fortunate than you, creates humility, creates gratitude. And that is the comparison we have to create, not in the sense of ego, that I am better than them, but gratitude towards God for giving me these gifts of life, the family I was born in, the status I was born in. And that has to continue. That gratitude, humility will keep you grounded and help you work towards your problem statement and eventually eradicate the problem. So my friends, to sum it up, always do your pre-rituals before sleeping, which is a light dinner, devoid of any sexual activity before bedtime, doing some prayers before bedtime, and sleeping in a good conducive environment, a little cool temperature, a dark room, mostly pitch black if possible, and the right time to sleep every time. Now, hopefully, you will have some settling of the mind. So you won't be creating a lot of reverberations, frequencies that are going to create a REM or rapid eye movement, the dream sleep. So those REM sleeps will be replaced by N3 deep wave delta sleeps. That is the dreamless sleep when you are closest to the Brahman. That is the sleep that restores your immunity. That is the sleep that helps with the reparative and regenerative activities. So the body feels fresh, and there has been a lot of programmed cell death or apoptosis through the intermittent fasting that has been forced on you when you're sleeping. So get a good night's sleep. If you're a yogi, you sleep 5 hours. If you're a bhogi, you probably sleep 7, 8 hours. But you sleep whatever duration is right for you, whatever feels right. There is no such hard and fixed number. When you wake up, most likely in Brahma Muhurat, wake up before the sun is out, 1.5 hours before sunrise. In that period of Brahma Muhurat, obtain a sitting position, a dhyanasana, one of the 6 dhyanasanas that I talked about in the Kumbhak Kriya video, and then you let your mind run your thinking scan. The scan where you will look at through as a third person, as a neutral observer, how your day went, and pick up the problem, something that you could improve upon. It could be interpersonal, it could be professional, it could be spiritual, it could be anything that has been bothering you, but you did not accept the problem. So once you have observed the problem, you accept it that yes, there is a problem. And once you have accepted the problem, you try to find a positive spin on it through another activity where you are grateful to God, where you are having gratitude for the gifts that life has bestowed upon you. When you get that humility and the gratitude, then you can come back to your problem statement and see how I can make a difference, how I can change my behavior. And the more you journal, the more you become better in terms of accepting your weaknesses and working on it long term. And that way, you are a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. And our only competition is from our past, not the people around us, not our peers. It is only from our past that we have to do better. At our own slow tortoise speed, we are going to get better. And keep working on the triad of observation, acceptance, gratitude. Jai Shri Ram.